Hello there, my name is Rachel. The first time seeing my channel, I used to review cartoon series, anime series, so something completely random, and today we're going to talk about DOTA Dragon's Blood Season 1 and Season 2. Now this series is sort of divisive because it's one of those things you have to adapt to a video game to an anime series. That could be very easily, especially, not easy, I mean a little difficult because it's sort of hard to make it right, especially you're limiting a few episodes, each episode total of maybe 20 minutes each, and you have to build so many characters, and something kind of hard to pull off, especially if you just focus on the lore or characters. You probably don't make it correctly because there's so much information of the original video game, it's sort of hard to pull off. And if you don't, you probably piss off the fan base who actually played that game. You'll have the other side of the coin of this show that people watch because it's just a show, and sometimes if you focus too much of the lore or of the whole trying to build, you can piss a lot of people off because you really don't know what you're watching. So that's why it's sort of hard to do a good adaptation on anything, because usually you have to please two type of people. But DOTA Dragon's Blood Season 1 and Season 2, I feel they did enough to be good, but I feel Season 2 improved whatever Season 1 sort of missed, because one of the major complaints is basically they didn't have everything. There's sort of things sort of off. You're trying to build too much lore, trying to build enough other characters. And I have to say, yes, I can see that. But at the very end, I've come here to be entertained. I really don't care if there's enough lore or enough characters. And this is the reason why I kind of enjoy it, because I know this show is not perfect. But at the very end, I felt it actually improved upon each season, every chance he gets. I think the best example is one of the main leads, Debian, that he's basically a dragon hunter doing his job, killing other dragons. But I love it, he's sort of interesting because he sort of have two personalities he chose to show around people. The first personality that's sort of cocky, charming, I got this, don't worry about it. But at the very end, that's sort of a lie, because Debian has his own issues. He's over prepared, overthinking things, over trying to figure out, can I do better? But I love it that he sort of fall into a sort of situation he was sort of cursed to be sort of the next dragon, if you make sense if you watch the series. But it's something that he didn't choose it just sort of happened. It's sort of that I was the wrong place in the wrong time, so now I have to figure out get rid of this curse. But I love that he was never the chosen one. And I love it, all the characters fall into that. Like, they're never the chosen one, it just fall in their lap and have no choice, it just roll the dice. And I feel this series does this really great. I mean, you could say they have some writing issues or how they execute it, I can see what you mean, but at the very end, to me, it's just sort of how you do things. Do you make it interesting enough to grab you and keep going watching the series? Yeah, I have to say yes, because not just Debian are interesting, many other characters are also equally as interesting as him. I think one of the big examples is the princess, that you really don't know what her main goal is in first, and you find out, oh no, she's one sort of a bodyguard to go to her land, but she actually run away for someone else, and a lot of couple of things that is really interesting, but at the same time you understand who she is, like trying to figure it out. What should I do? Should I go back to my kingdom or not? Especially they follow this sort of war about the elves, but I love it even more that everything is sort of connected to the elf goddess, because the elf goddess is the one who initially kick off everything. Every single character is affected about the elf goddess because she is 100% selfish, that she wanted to be worshipped, she wanted to be applauded about, because she is all that of the bag of chips. But I feel fascinating that was basically her downfall, because she's so huge ego and did not realize what actually going around running her face. Yeah, I feel one of the most interesting thing is what happened to the elf goddess daughter, that she wanted her mother, but at the very end she only delivered the goddess just worship me. You enjoy how the daughter says, I don't want to worship you, I want my mother. And that is sort of interesting because how the elf goddess sort of reacted, like, I could have saved you, but at the same time, that sort of lie, you could save her because you just didn't want it, because you want to be worshipped. You were so obsessed to being worshipped, you basically screw yourself over and your own family. And I feel that's sort of fascinating because she pretends nothing is wrong. Besides, no one can take me down. I'm a goddess. No one can touch me. And there's a sort of weird problem with her that she doesn't realize what she's doing with her own people, making wars because of her name, and not realizing she's sort of just denying everything. And I feel that's sort of fascinating. Of course, I just enjoyed what happened at season 1, what happened at the very end, how Damian got captured. You think, oh, this is the end on him. Till season 2, sort of developing more other characters like Kaiten. That Kaiten basically the teacher of Damian. That Kaiten is the type of character that is sort of unhinged. He's only focused on the mission, killing dragons, and you find out, oh, Damian is a dragon. I think I should capture it and kill him. But I love it that it's sort of how extreme Kaiten really is. That's sort of unhinged. I mean, the first season he was that, but season 2 they tried to develop it, but not try to break the character. Like, Kaiten is the type of character that is sort of you think he's sort of a edgelord, but he actually is not. He has layers, but he doesn't really talk. He's sort of that silent protagonist, only talk when he needs to talk. And that's sort of hard to pull out because after season 2, episode 1 started to understand who is Kaiten, they sort of tried to rush it because it's sort of hard, but they could have worked better if they'd done some changes here and there. But at the very end, I feel they got there because they really show who was Kaiten, because he's one of the characters just really stands out. How unnerving and unsettling with this type of character, and you just fall in love with it because you were fascinated how deep in the hole he really is, mentally, in other words. Now you have other characters that are completely equally as interesting as Kenny, like Graham, that he's basically the squire of the main dragon killer, that he felt he will never be as equal, he never gets his chance, he's never the hero of his own story. He feels he's sort of belittled, but at the very end, people do respect him because he is very important, but you understand why he struggles, especially season 2, because they really focus on that. They really try to develop the character even more, and yeah, I enjoyed him. Also, you have another character that is probably the most interesting of them all. It's called Fiona, if I said her name correctly. I know I kind of dodged her name, but basically the elf thief that you find out she actually is a very odd elf, that her ability is not normal. In the whole season 2 build up that she is basically the replacement of the elf goddess, but she really doesn't know what she wants, who she will listen, because she felt she was a pawn, and you kind of felt for her because yeah, how can you trust someone, especially of this type of world, because everybody lies to each other. You don't know who's telling the truth, who's lying, who's using you, and that sort of can break a character. In fact, you see multiple characters sort of broken, not sure what is the right choice anymore, and that's why I think season 2 improve that, because you really get the layers of each character. Even characters that were sort of minor get the chance to shine even more. Yeah, I actually enjoy season 2 so much because of that. And on top of all this, season 2 comedy, it improves so much because the comedy is sort of hard to pull off, because if you make it too funny, you ruin the action on the intensity of the moment, especially how you kill a character, because it's sort of hard to kill a character. The only way to make it work and feel something had to be a most likable character, or at least the main character enough to feel something. But DOTA Dragon Blood does this a right way. It does this the way that you know enough about the side character to care about them even dying, because you felt each single death. That's why I enjoy it, because they sort of understood how to execute that the best way. Now, I can't really say anything else about this series, because this series was, to me, Great. It has its issues, yes, but at the very end, you cannot overlook it. You probably enjoy it as me. Now, I have one question. What do you like about it? You hate it? You think this is trash? This is good? Tell me down below. Let me know. I really got nothing else to say. Just thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.